Well, let's, I guess just
Yes.
in the interest of time, we'll go
Yes.
ahead, Vice Chair, and get started. Okay, we'll call the February, oh, help me, February reading the wrong thing. 15th, thank you. February 15th, 2024, Merrill Enrichment Center Committee meeting to order. If everyone's had a chance, or if they wanted to look at the, first we'll review the minutes.
Yeah.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll second.
second, all right, any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next, motion to approve the December and January vouchers.
I will motion to approve those vouchers.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. 18. Okay. Public comment. Does anyone have any, or anyone on the phone to comment? Or anyone here on behalf of the public?
I had heard a comment last week from someone that I casually know from exercise, and she came up to me and asked me if the Enrichment Center was in financial trouble.
Oh, she did.
Why
Did
did you
she?
believe that?
I don't know. I didn't ask her where she heard that from. Something she heard.
And
It must
she-
be somewhere.
And she didn't share with you where she maybe heard?
But I felt, sometimes I feel like I shouldn't ask all of that.
Right, of course, that's fine, I didn't know if she just offered it. I'm assuming it's because of our increase in our fee.
Oh, that's,
Mhm.
yeah, that's probably.
Yeah, that word gets around pretty quick, so I'm guessing that might be part of it. Maybe that we started an endowment, might be another possible, but yeah. So you assured her we're,
I said, we're fine. I said,
okay,
we don't collect enough fees as much as we should, you know, for our activities, so we're changing that.
I will say the council made mention at common council, one of our aldermen did point out that there was obviously the budget situation that we ran into, and I assured that this committee is looking into that to make sure that does not continue on. So I will make mention of that to this committee.
could you clarify that for me again? So you said the council, another
Another
alderperson?
alderperson had mentioned something about it, it's in the common council minutes, so.
And mentioned what specifically?
Mayor Haas, do you remember exactly what was said? Wasn't it something along the lines of, they noticed that there was a deficit or something like that? I can't remember.
Yeah, they noticed that it was, the Enrichment Center was over budget for the time period. But, I mean, your budget's gonna fluctuate, it all comes out in the end generally, so I mean, I'm not overly concerned about it at this point, but I mean, it's early in the year, so we'll just keep monitoring.
Okay, thank you.
If I don't know, have you talked to like groups, like about the fee structure and things here?
Yeah, we'll
Is
get.
that on,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay,
Yep.
that's okay.
Okay. Any other public comment? Okay, moving on to ADRC. Jennifer.
Yep, okay, just a few things I wanted to mention. We do have advocacy days coming up, so I just thought I would mention that there's 3 different day-on events in Madison, Wisconsin, where, anywhere from caregivers, organizations, community members have the opportunity to kind of talk with their legislators around different key issues on various topics. So they have like an Alzheimer's Advocacy Day on February 20th. And this is, again, just an opportunity to be able to talk with legislators about some of the key issues for those living with dementia. There's a Disability Advocacy Day in March 20th. So advocating for those living with a disability. And then Aging Advocacy Days on May 14th, which focuses on key issues for our aging population. So all of the advocacy days are free to attend. There is a lunch that's provided. Just to kind of give you an idea, the AM session is really kind of learning about some of the key issues and how to talk to your legislators, and then PM sessions are actually where you're sitting down with the legislators and having a conversation kind of about what you're seeing in your own communities, if it's at work, you know, things that you're seeing that might be issues. And then, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. This is actually my first year going, so I'll be honest, I'm actually a little nervous. But just from those that have gone from our agency in the past, they have all said it's a really cool experience, and didn't find it to be as scary as kind of what I've built it up in my head to be. But you do have to pre-register. Again, they're free and open to anyone to attend. So if anyone on the committee has interest in any of those topic areas or issues, you know, those are available for you to attend in Madison. So that's just one thing I wanted to mention. And then just a couple quick reminders. I know we've talked about managing caregiver stress workshops. We do have another one coming up in the Merrill area on March 13th from 2 to 3. And this is a 1-hour free workshop for caregivers, and it's kind of to talk more about managing caregiver stress and things to consider if you're in a caregiving type role. And then we do also have our monthly caregiver support group that meets regularly on the fourth Monday from 10:30 to noon. Both of those workshop and support group is an in-person, but there is a virtual option to attend as well if people can't or have an inability to attend in person. So those are just a couple updates that I wanted to share. Any questions at all on any of that?
No, but I really did want to say, Jennifer, that the aging population session on May 14th is of great interest to me. Are you going to that one?
I am not going to that one, but there will be people from our agency going. I know Erin Wells.
Okay. Oh, she is.
So yes, if you're interested in going, I can send you those. Actually, you know what? I don't know that the registration link is out yet.
Okay.
But I can send you some information on where you can find that.
Okay.
If it is of interest.
Yeah, it definitely is. Thank you, Jen.
And this is Laura. In the past, I went to one of the disability ones years ago in my work capacity, and it was very interesting. And we took a lot of folks with disabilities down there with us.
Oh, okay.
To meet, and so it was really a good day. I mean, informative and I think empowering, and so.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. Like I said, it's my first year. I was kind of just like, I don't know, I was always so nervous to go, but Erin's like, oh, it'll be great. But
yeah.
you know, there's usually some education that they provide you in the beginning anyways. And yeah, I've heard really good things from everybody that's gone in the past. So
Good energy.
Yes. Mr. Bevel?
Yep.
If I might ask, Jen, this is a little off the railroad track that we're on here, but does the ADRC have any kind of a 1-year report on the progress of programming for the adult handicapped population that was redistributed to other programs that we were going to supposedly hear from a year ago? And the ADRC was, if you recall, I made a phone call to you because I was referred to you by the chairman of the Lincoln County Board to ask what
I think you might.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead, Jean, sorry.
Go ahead. I'm done.
Oh, I think you might have been referred over to, you might have spoke with Erin Wells. I know she had mentioned, but I haven't talked to Erin about any updates at all, but I can certainly ask her and just see if, so sorry, remind me of your specific question again, just so I know what I'm asking.
Well, there was supposed to be a guarantee of similar programming made available to these folks after they were removed from Lincoln Industries facility. And when we objected to that, if you recall, we were told that we were being somewhat too alarmed because these folks were going to be provided with similar, if not better, programming, and the ADRC was mentioned as one of the collaborators in trying to do this. That's why I bring it up.
Okay. Yeah, let me just see if she, I mean, I guess I don't know how to answer that, but she might have a better idea. I can, Tammy, is that something, if I follow up with Erin, can I reach back out to you to get Dean some information?
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you.
Oh, yep. Yeah, sorry I couldn't answer that on the spot, but I can definitely look into it and see if she has any feedback.
Yeah.
That's okay, I understand. It's a little bit out of the air today.
That's okay.
Okay, anything else for Jennifer for the ADRC? Okay, moving on to operations, user fees.
All right, so I just wanted to update you on, we are probably, oh gosh, more than 75% complete with discussions on user fees with our participants. And I'm pleasantly surprised that there wasn't, well, at least to our face, there wasn't a lot of conversation. We had some questions that were answered, and everyone seemingly is fine with it. We did have one phone call from a participant's adult child, that there was a miscommunication in what that person thought the fees were going to be. So after we said what it was, then they were like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's fine, we're good. So it was just a misunderstanding on what the fee was actually going to be increased.
And Gigi was fine with her?
Gigi and I sat down for a long time and had a great discussion, and she is fully, completely understanding. So that was, I was a little concerned because of her value added to this place, but she, yeah, and she has some other ideas. She's always full of ideas. She has no plans of leaving or retiring. I asked her for succession planning. I'm like, are you gonna leave? When are you gonna retire? And she's like, I have no plans to do that. So she was really, really great about it, and had some really great suggestions too on some other programs. So that went very well. So yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. We have a few more groups to talk to. That, for instance, book club has no fees, and we are going to be asking them for a $3. They're only here once a month, so I don't anticipate any issues with that either. So a lot of questions about the punch card and how that's going to change. So on the front of our newsletter for March, it's very clearly stated on how that's going to work and how the old card will transition to the new card, and so it's been pretty seamless, and knock on wood, I'm pretty pleased about it. And on that note, I believe the question was asked, when we do increase that dollar fee, how much is that going to bring in for us for the year? Fairly accurate, but still a little bit of a rough number because we have to figure in some more things. It's just over $4,000 for the year that we would bring in an extra $4,000. So, and that's as things are now. As participation increases, we'll have more. This is just with current participants. So, yeah. So we're sitting. It's something,
That's a big
right?
help.
It's a big help. Every little bit is a big help. So, yeah, we're pleased with that.
I mean, if I'm an artist, and as you all well know, I'm not. I buy a lot of art out of here, as you know.
Yes, I know.
If I'm an artist and wish to come here to just work in one of the rooms, do I have to pay?
Yes,
How do
because
I,
you're utilizing the space.
How do I pay?
So right now, I'm going to use our quilt and stitch group that asked to be able to come here and use our facilities 2 times a month on Mondays for pretty much the whole day, which takes up our room for the whole day.
Yeah.
So they are paying the $2 activity fee, now the $3 activity fee starting in March for every time they come and use that space for whatever it is that they are, whatever projects they're working on. They have a show and tell in there. So that's what we do. It's our normal activity fee if you'd like to use our space.
But you don't have any cases like that, do you, where just one person wants to come and use the space? He's talking about just One
what
per-
that's
one
what I'm
person,
talking
yeah.
about.
Oh, just one
Just
person
me.
Just one individual.
wants to come and just hang out in the space
And
and
use-
use
and
it.
use it
No,
for
I
their-
want to practice my art.
Yeah,
And you bring your own
I need a lot of
supplies.
practice.
If you bring your own supplies and you have to schedule the space time because we're pretty booked.
And that's what I'm
And
wondering.
then you would pay us a user fee, and right now that user fee is $3. Will be $3 in March. It's
$3
$2 right now
per time.
per time.
Well,
A whole day for $3.
I think I can handle that.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Well,
learning in this.
I just happen to know somebody who comes here,
Mm-hmm.
and she was, rather than work at home with her children, she was
Yes.
wondering if she could just,
Come
Come here
use the
and
space.
just-
Yep, and we do have times that are a little more quiet. So if she's flexible with days and such, that we can give her those, or him, those opportunities to say, here's the times that are available and feel free to come and use the space
for $3.
for $3.
I borrow that from Jay.
I don't know if I can make a loan.
He won't give it to me.
Yeah.
It's not a good investment.
Yes, and so that's a good question though, because we really, not that we mind people coming here and hanging out, we have people who come to walk and there's no activity fee. And after this new group, like we have a lot of new people coming in, which is great. This new group, after they take their laps and such, they'll take a break in between and sit at the table and visit for a little bit. And then they get back up and then they use the space, and so they're walking and I guess my point is there are still some things that people can, they can come here and walk for no fee. And then they may have a little bit of social time and visit before they choose to leave. So we don't want to be taking that away.
And for the benefit of the city, who are obviously the ones we have to deal with,
Yes,
we do worry for the sake of our future, what those fees have to be according to some comments that have been made in order to stay viable. So
right.
we don't really want to encourage those fees to get any
Any grade.
speed road up.
Right. Because we can give them a little bit of, a little bit of an increase in things, but if we continue to do that on an annual basis, we may price ourselves out.
And what's hard to know is we know that those that are coming and continuing to pay, it's not a problem, but they're
Mhm.
making it work.
Mm-hmm.
What we don't know is how many people aren't coming because of that.
New or aren't, yes.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, even for the 3 that we've had all along,
Mhm.
that's what's hard to measure,
Mhm.
of course.
Mhm. Yes,
That's
yes.
true.
Yes,
this
it is.
didn't come up when we were thinking about different ways to raise fees, but have you ever thought about having like a monthly blanket fee that would cover anything you want to come here, except for like an art thing or whatever, but it would cover, the card playing and any extra, well, it couldn't be with Gigi either, I guess, no.
We have, that's a great question, and we have toyed with that, but we would not, one big number to people sounds like too much.
Yeah,
Like if I go to join a club somewhere, an athletic club or whatever,
Yeah.
or even down at the landing and stuff, they've got big fees, and that big number, people will be like, I don't know if I'm gonna utilize that $75 a month or whatever it is.
that is true.
I get to pick and choose what I wanna do, and, God forbid if they pay for it and they get sick, or, all of those things.
That
So
is
yes,
true.
no,
You
that
do
is a
do
good
that.
thought, because the 3 of us have brainstormed that as well,
Okay,
and gotten some feedback from people, and they like the pay-as-you-go. Mhm.
It's not unlike childcare. The biggest concern we have with trying to provide childcare is the childcare providers charge even if you stay home. And
I understand that because
to
I was a
normal-
child care provider.
Yes.
And you do need a income to
You
depend
do,
on.
and I'm not saying it's unfair, but I'm saying to a parent,
Yeah,
if my child is sick for 3 or 4 days, I'm still paid, and you still have to operate.
yeah.
But that would be similar to, paying and then not using it.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions, thoughts on the user fees?
So overall, it's positively taken by our patrons right now, the increase.
Well, I don't know that they're cheering.
Well,
But
positive in the fact of we're not getting pitchfork rioted.
Yeah. I tried not to make too much direct eye contact, but I scanned the room for that look, and there were a few stink eyes. I got a few stink eyes, but I wasn't surprised at those few stink eyes. So we kind of know who we were gonna maybe get that from. Not that they won't pay it, but that they were like, whatever.
Well, that may be a measurement down the road, are the numbers decreasing?
Yeah.
Yes,
You know, I
that's
guess
true.
we might
Like if
have
we
some-
start seeing decreases, then that's words not spoken.
Yeah.
And
But-
starting March 1st, right?
Correct.
So
Well,
it's
first,
Sorry,
yeah,
oh, right,
yeah,
so over time.
So we'll
yeah,
know.
So we'll have to look at March and April and.
yeah.
And probably
And that's-
May, so when you hit June, that's when you'll really have to take a look at the numbers.
Or when
Well,
those-
you know what happens though, we have a lot of seasonal fluctuation.
Correct.
People, snowbirds, and then people in the summer, our numbers are sometimes down because people are traveling and going and doing, and so it's kind of a roller coaster, but we can look at past years' attendance versus, what's coming up
That's
now
what
and
I'm
if it's
saying.
gonna affect that, yeah, for sure.
Well, for the benefit of our young man here, our biggest concern with user fees, that the city has to have a limit of money from the facility,
Mm-hmm,
is that we're concerned about starting new programs that have to come out of that same pot. If there's a limited amount of money that we have left available to use for something new here,
mm-hmm,
it takes out of that total that the city has told us they're gonna need,
right,
at the end of the year for the next 10 years or whatever.
right,
And our ability to make revenue.
Right.
We can- yeah.
No,
Right.
I get that, and I understand all of it. I wanna see this place succeed, but the problem is too, we only have such a limited pot that we can take from in order to pay everything else. It's the same boat as everyone else.
mm-hmm,
I think last year, if my budget memory is correct, which it was such a fun time doing all those budgets, I believe the tax levy number that I heard that came for this place alone was $44,000. That's to us it might not sound like a lot, but to an alderman that's
What do you mean, this place, this building, or just the
to the
enrichment
enrichment center.
Yeah, I'm not sure about
I
that.
can't-
I'm gonna check on that number.
Yeah, I can't remember if that was the exact number that was heard, but $44,000 is a lot.
That sounds like more than what I'm thinking, but I will check on that.
And that's just the tax levy numbers, that's not the amount of money that was transferred over or anything like that. That just comes out of our tax dollars, what we're taking in from the taxpayers, so.
Well, and I'll tell you what, on that note, based on the feedback that we hear on a daily basis, and I'm not exaggerating, multiple times a day, how thankful people are for the facility and the health and wellness of what it means to them.
And I'm,
So if
Yeah.
some of the tax money, I bet if they found that out, they'd be like, okay,
and I'm not disagreeing
Yeah,
that it's
you're
not
just stating
money.
a fact,
I'm
but
just stating the
yeah.
fact that some of the aldermen do not feel it is worth that this place, the Enrichment Center, is worth that amount. I could
Okay.
almost guarantee that there are some aldermen that
Yeah.
do not feel that way.
And that's perfect,
And that
because,
is-
what I will do is I will go to the people who come here and say, why don't you hop in on one of our Tuesday evening council meetings? And just random, it doesn't have to, just randomly
And
with public
advocate,
comment.
just public comments,
Say
say
how much-
how much you appreciate it, because the park
Yep.
system obviously takes up a lot, and there are a lot of people that use it.
Mm-hmm,
The library is used a lot.
mm-hmm.
I don't know I honestly couldn't tell you the number of people in the city of Merrill out of what's our population now, like 9,500, something along those lines. And then our surrounding area too, that use this facility. I couldn't tell you those numbers, and I bet you anything the aldermen probably think it's less than what I know. So,
No, you're right, so I appreciate you bringing it up, because all we have to do is say, if you value this space,
mhm.
please share that at public
Please-
comment
well,
on
please-
any one of the council meetings,
Even
or
as-
talk to your
yeah.
alderpersons, do what you need to do to make sure that they understand the value that we add to this community for people.
Well, Tim, maybe several times a year you should make that funny machine out there of yours tally up
Oh, we can do
with
that.
these and provide that total that you're looking for.
Yep,
Because
yep,
every time Jay and I come here in the
Yeah.
morning,
yep.
they make us check in to make sure
Count you.
that we remember who we are.
Those kinds of numbers mean a lot to,
And I think the numbers, that's the purpose of that equipment, because you can push a
Yes, oh
couple
yeah,
buttons
we have,
and-
we have reports out and absolutely, we can share that,
And that's
so.
what probably should go to them.
Good
Yeah,
budget time
yep,
to talk.
Yep, exactly, so no, and I do appreciate you bringing that up, because if I don't hear that that's what their perception is or thoughts are,
Yeah.
how do you know,
I'm
right?
I'm 31 years old and I don't know how many people actually utilize
Mhm.
this part of the facility. I have a general number on the expo
Mhm.
center, obviously, because of how many events we have going on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
How many weddings are happening, how many, just the amount of people that end up using that space. This space, I don't honestly know, so I would love to see those numbers myself
Well, I can get you those
before,
numbers
yeah.
next week.
A miscellaneous thought I had the other day was, the library, I think, serves the same kind of purpose as we do for the community. It's enriching people's lives. You don't have to pay to go to the library.
Mhm.
You don't have to pay anything, you'd only have to pay a fine if your books are late or
Mhm.
whatever.
There-
But why should, I don't know, why shouldn't we have to even pay a fee here?
Well, aren't they county owned as well?
They
Yes, the
are,
county does, it's half and half. I mean,
it's
according
like,
to their population.
yeah, it's like
townhouse.
55, 45, something like
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
But part of it is too, I believe, and I know Mayor Haas is on the line, so correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that is actually state mandated that
That's
we
right.
have
I was-
to.
That's
have
the
a
whole
library.
thing, everybody
Well,
wants to fight it. The state tells you what you have to do, and as we've been reminded here, this doesn't have to be.
Unfortunately, the state
Like
says that we
Pinecrest.
don't have to do it.
Pinecrest doesn't have to be either.
Okay,
The state has also mandated that we don't have to do our park system at all technically. But
oh, well, that
obvi-
would probably be the next thing to go.
But obviously, it is something that the citizens of Merrill utilize a lot, and that's where I think, that's where no one truly questions the park system.
Well, another thought I have too, and I think this happens a lot of times in county and municipal governments, is we always are talking about how to bring people here, how to bring people to our community. But what about providing amenities for the people that are here and live here? And if you want to attract people to move here and live here,
Mhm.
you know,
The
why not?
value of that.
Yeah, the value of that.
The value of bringing someone here is the same value of keeping someone here. That is my personal thing, because I know like some of the things that we're trying to do at marketing is to bring people here. Well, we're advertising what we already have, which we do have a lot in Merrill, just a lot of Merrillites, I'll call them.
Wouldn't you want people to move here permanently and pay taxes rather than just go through town or
No,
stay for one day?
that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to get people to come
Oh,
here,
and just see,
live here,
yeah, okay.
and pay our taxes. Don't pay Chicago taxes. Chicago taxes are nuts. You can pay here, and your job will most likely let you work remotely. That's the one great thing that COVID, that's the only good thing that COVID gave us, was the remote access jobs that are abundant now. That is where marketing communications, which meets later today, 5:15, it has been focusing on getting people to move here, not the tourism business, just getting people to move here. Because once we get people to move here, then businesses will most likely want to come here more, and then the tourism can follow after that.
But I think her point only is there would be fewer people using the library if you charged them $3.
Oh, absolutely. There's a reason they got rid of the book fees. That,
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't remember too much about when I was young, but there was a time when if there was a fee at that time, probably for $1 to go to something, if I went there 3 or 4 times a month, that $4 or $5 I didn't want to pay anymore, because
It's a lot.
there was a time when, believe it or not, $4 or $5 was tough to come by.
I honestly get it, because I'm an avid bowler. I bowl every week for the most part. $15 every week is sometimes hard to swallow.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is what it is, and if you enjoy what you're doing, obviously, then you find the way to make that
Although I
work.
have to be honest with you, I kind of wince when I hear people complain about something that costs $4 while they're talking on a $600 cell phone.
After they pick up their morning coffee that costs $5.
Yeah.
Probably a
I know.
$1,500.
Yeah, I don't understand that, but.
No,
Well-
I'm agreeing, I'm just,
Yep.
you know, I wanna make a point to say I see the value in this place, but I do not know if other aldermen see that.
We can fix that.
I would hope that they do, but
Yeah, we can fix that.
we also have elections coming up, and we know for sure that there are a few new people coming in to the game
Mhm.
of politics, so.
All right.
All right. I think just in the interest of time, excuse me, I know we weren't able to get to this last time, and I know that's something we want to this time. So,
Yes, yes.
discussion for examining mission statement and considering a vision statement.
Right. So we don't have, excuse me, I'm gonna grab our newsletters really quick so that we have those. So on the front of our newsletter, we have our current mission. We do not have a vision. We do have vision, we just don't have a statement written. And I think that we're just going to, now, what I want to precursor this is to say that I'm pretty sure in the time we have allotted, we will not come to a full conclusion on mission and vision. It takes a lot of thought, and we can come back next month with maybe some ideas as well. But basically right now, I think we need to look at the big picture of who we are, realistically who we are, not what we want to end up being. That's kind of more of a vision. So currently our mission statement is dedicated to enhancing lives and bringing generations together, which is pretty encompassing. So basically, you know, a mission statement, did I hand out the sheet to you all? Okay. So just kind of high level, I'm sure a lot of you know what they are already, but it's basically just giving some, you know, the declaration of the purpose and function of your organization, what is effective mission statement, what is not, but what our priorities are, and then mission statement will help us describe then, yes, Sharon?
I don't think I got a copy.
Oh, you
yet.
didn't? Oh, here.
It was underneath here, Sharon.
Underneath, yeah. The second-
Oh, okay.
Is it there?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, very good. So then, you know, it talks about strategic steps for us to take to align with mission. And your organization should refer to your mission statement often every time you're making decisions, training employees, planning for the future, educating public about your business, and marketing your products and services. So that's kind of the focus of the mission. I just threw a couple examples of mission statements. AARP's is to enhance quality of life for all as we age. Ironically enough, I think that's kind of sort of like what we're.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Pardon me?
The
The AARP.
Yeah, oh, to enhance quality of life.
Yep, to enhance quality of life for all as we age. So that kind of is relative. And then I just threw Starbucks out because everybody knows who that is. I also really kind of like this, regardless of the cup of coffee, but to inspire and nurture the human spirit. You know, one person, one cup, one neighborhood at a time. That, you know, kind of along the lines of what we're trying to do is nurture that human spirit and inspire. So I just threw something out idea-wise for us, just for people to ponder and build upon. But, you know, our current mission statement is very sound, but to improve lives through social, physical, and educational opportunities. Lives kind of encompasses everybody's life, every generation. But I think we need to kind of brainstorm some ideas about, you know, who we really are. And we've always aspired to bridge the gap between the older population and the very young population. And it feels like we have been beating ourselves up since forever to try to make those things happen. And I think everybody's trying in a collaborative effort to do that. MAPS, for instance, we worked with Steve's friends. Transportation for them is always getting the students here. Staffing is always an issue. We try to work with some of the grade schools on after-school activities. Some of our groups of participants would go and meet for after-school programs with them and walk and clean up the parks when I first started working here, which was great. But it comes down to, for our school system, the resources to be able to have them come here or have us go there. And so, and the times that we have done it have been rewarding on both ends. And then also working, with the veterans and the kids and doing all of these collaborative efforts. I think what happens sometimes too is that everybody's trying to do the same thing. So you run into the oh, we're already doing that with this group, we're already doing it with this group. So an idea forms, and maybe we're on the forefront of that idea, right? And we start that. All of a sudden everybody else is doing that too. And not that we're always doing it, but we might see something that somebody's doing and be like, that looks like a really great idea. Should we jump on that bandwagon or not? So I feel like the effort has been 100% there for us to try to bridge those gaps between the generations. And it's been getting more challenging as we proceed. So the reason I'm sharing that is maybe we need to be realistic about who are we? Who in this community and beyond, because we have a lot of people that travel from beyond to be here. Who are they, and how can we best serve that population who is coming here now? Will we invite opportunities once in a while that happen, that come to us? Absolutely. But for it to be our full focus and be straining and feeling defeated all the time because we're not meeting that mission, that's what I want. That's where I would like the conversation to go.
Tammy, what are our hours? 8 to 4:30?
Mm-hmm. And that I'm going to say right now.
On Monday through Thursday?
Well, yes, then we have our one evening.
One
okay?
evening, right.
So we have been approached by, more people that are like, oh, I kind of sort of wish you were, maybe open on a Friday or maybe open on a Saturday or whatever. So do we. But we only have 2 people at 32 hours and 1 at less than that. And in order for us to offer these evenings, it's like a chess match, trying to figure out covering hours and are we working more than our hours?
Well, I think that's...
Do I want us to be doing that?
That's the controlling factor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if
Right.
that's the budget,
Mm-hmm.
and those are the hours we're available.
And those are the hours where we're reaching the maximum amount of people.
Right.
And so do we, I know we've talked about this a lot too, so it's a great question to bring up, is, we're talking about bringing in our next generation.
I don't think we can.
I don't think we can.
If that's your budget and those are your hours,
Yep.
8 to 4:30 Monday through Thursday, the kids are in school, mom and dad are at work. How are they going to get here?
Right.
If you're going to go into that next generation, it's got to be evenings and weekends. And if you don't have the budget for that, we're beating our head against the wall.
Right. And if we, and for us to just have this one very busy evening in the month is how we are trying to at least give a taste of that to people that are able to come. Now, Steph and I are going to be doing Strong Bodies, and so Stephanie is taking the 5:50. Well, actually, it's going to start at 4:30. We kind of bumped it up. The 4:30 class, but she'll be here till 5:30, and then some of the classes might go until like 7 or something. But in what we have to do is when everybody comes into all the classes, we have to lock the doors. So she can teach her Strong Bodies class for an hour because there's nobody manning that desk, and she's coming in later so she can stay later. So the dynamics of scheduling and payroll is very real. It's very real as to what our limitations are for offering nights and weekends or whatever the case may be.
Are the only 2 days that you have to be open early are for Gigi's math classes on Monday and Wednesday?
Early?
Early, like, not
We don't, that's within our hours.
within your hours?
Yeah, because she starts, they start coming in about, a
Okay,
little after 8.
I should say that a different way.
Okay,
Would it be possible on Tuesday and Thursday, do you have anything happening early, at 8 o'clock or before 10?
oh, yeah, if we didn't come in, like, that's all of our administrative time to get
Okay.
things done before guys group comes in, before
Okay.
we gotta get coffee ready, we gotta open
I
the
just thought
shop.
that might give you a little wiggle room to
You mean to flex the
yeah,
date to
right.
change the time.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but administratively, we cherish those moments, those hours of getting, you know,
It's quiet.
there's so much stuff that nobody sees administratively that has to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's enough.
How was it decided not to have Friday hours? Was it just a budget thing?
Because of budget, right,
Okay.
yeah, because of budget.
It wasn't that Fridays were a slow day, it just,
You know, I'm gonna have to reflect back to when I first started in the basement. I don't think they were open on Fridays. Jane, my predecessor, had made a budget decision because the city was asking for budget cuts, and she made the decision of Monday through Thursday and no Fridays. So I walked into that, and we've just been kind of going with that.
So at one point they were open?
Yes.
But there's a qualifier to that.
Yes.
Because we were called the senior center then.
Correct.
So the scope was a little bit different, a little narrower. And the senior center mindset still is a little prevalent in many people's minds, because I've heard this place addressed as the senior center. And, you know, one of the things when we did this mission statement, if you recall, Art was a part of the process.
Yep.
And Art told us that a mission statement should be just enough words that we can remember what it says.
Right. Right.
And for some of us, that's getting a little thinner. But what I think we've probably not been as successful as we wanted to be is bringing those generations together just because of the practicality of what Jay just said.
Yes, I agree.
You know, we kind of, if some of you remember, we kind of thought we were going to be able to do a lot more with, I don't know who those younger generations were that we were talking about, but they were younger than those of us who've been involved.
I think on that note, I'm glad you brought that up. Because when we were writing that mission, we were thinking of the littles, right? The youth. But if you look at the generations we have right now, we've got probably a couple, 2 to 3 different generations in this building already. So there are generations, but our focus was the littles. Let's
How
get
we think about that.
Yes, but we do have generations here.
But
not what we
my
was our
observation has
mission.
been over the last few years that this multiple generation probably for our future planning
Right.
maybe the people who are, you know, your age and younger,
Yes.
moms. Now, I don't know what the data is in Merrill, but I come from Eau Claire, and they just did a survey where they were trying to find out how many whatever you call a home mom now with children at home.
Oh, stay at home,
and they were surprised at how many they still had at home.
Oh,
Because
okay.
we all, like in Merrill, we all kind of think every mom is working.
Oh,
And that's just not true.
right.
And so, you know, I think that might be a clientele that maybe we could explore with. Because at the time, if you recall, when we talked about the number of men who needed a place to go because they had no place to go, there were a few people sitting at this table who wondered, well, how come they don't, where are they? We never see them. Well, we see them here. Because they come here and sit here. They don't always even speak, do they, Jay?
right.
They just sit here. But they come and they listen and they laugh because of all the stupidity we practice. And it's important to their wives too.
Oh, we have been,
Huge.
yeah, we
It's a
have,
huge benefit.
it's huge. We have been thanked countless times for having place.
Well, I'm just saying that the moms population maybe is something for us to
Mhm,
explore.
mhm.
You know, and
Could be if the kids are in school and then they have
Yeah.
some time on their hands to come here, you know, so.
Or are you talking about mothers with young children coming?
Well, I'm not sure. In general, moms who have no place else to go that they can afford to go to,
Mhm.
and it's still
They're
open and it's
probably
a
on the
pleasant,
run to
safe
the
place to
grocery
go.
store, to the.
Yeah, so.
But I have a few friends that are in that category that you're talking about, Gene.
Sure.
And I can, just as Sharon was saying, they're, you know, the days that they can get the one child out of 3 or 4 that are, you know,
They're running
that are-
to the grocery
yeah,
store.
they're running
to
grocery
this,
store,
to this,
they get every
getting all the
imaginable
stuff done.
thing you can get done.
They probably don't have time to go to the coffee shop.
As much as I would love to get those clientels here, I do think, as Jay was kind of pointing out, it is gonna be hard, extremely hard with the budgets and everything that we are strapped with.
Yeah.
But, you know, to your point, can we put
Can we
a little
explore it?
tagline in our newsletter and say, hey, you know, stay-at-home moms is a full-time job, but if you have a break and you wanna come and get creative, we have these classes. Or if you wanna come and walk and I mean, we do have some younger moms come and walk, but not many. But it's definitely a thought, and I guess to your point, Jean, is how do we reach who we can reach? That is probable, not trying
Within our
to beat
parameters.
ourselves up over not being able to achieve what we ultimately
Tim, I
wanted
think
to.
of those 2 women who sold me that piece of artwork that I bought, but they never even got in the door. One was my former student.
Oh,
And they were bringing art here to sell
Oh.
because they were bringing it for you to sell.
to the shop, in the
Yeah.
shop? Oh,
And of
I didn't
course,
know of this, okay.
They met some funny old guy before they got in the door. But, you know, when we talked about it a little bit, it was interesting because one mom said, this is my sanity project,
Oh, see?
which, you know,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
wife probably felt that way too at one point. Maybe
Yeah.
she still does. I'm her sanity project. But no, seriously, if you have children that maybe you can get away from or bring them along or do something with them, like you
That's what I'm
say.
worried about, the bringing along. When you say stay-at-home moms, I think of someone who's tied down with kids
Yeah.
that would love to come out, but I don't think we're situated in, like, for that.
Taking care of the kids.
No, because you have to put a diaper changing station in and have something for the kids while the parents were doing something. That gets complicated.
I know.
But for mothers, mothers that are without any
But
kids,
my point was these mothers are trying to get away from those children for a
Right,
little
if
while
they get
to
a
come.
minute.
yeah.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
If they get a
If
minute,
they
that's
get a
kind
minute.
of
Okay, have
a,
someone stay at home with those kids
Yeah.
and they can come.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think there's merit in what Gene's saying, if that group of ladies could come here
Yeah.
and just sit around this table
Oh,
for
yeah,
an hour,
yeah.
once a month, whatever,
Yeah,
and
that would
just
be
to
great.
talk about
Yeah.
being a stay-at-home mom and the struggles that does have, or the enjoyment, whatever you wanna
But
call
how could you
it.
say,
Um,
no kids allowed?
But, I mean, I think there's merit to that, I think that's something you can explore and not
I
have a
like
lot
that
of
idea.
expense,
I
just
like that.
make it available.
Yep.
To sit in this room and just talk.
But that brings your generation.
That brings the generation back in.
Well, yeah.
and to get back to kind of what we're supposed to be working on,
The
which is
mission,
examining the
yeah.
mission statement, the idea that Tammy brought to improve lives through social, physical, and educational opportunities. I realize it's very general and very broad, but I like that generalization and that
I like
I
broad.
like it too. Let's just take.
I don't know if we have to go past that idea. That you-
Really?
Yeah, to be very fair and honest, not to be lazy about it, but it, you know, to me, it's like to improve the lives socially, physically, and educationally. Well, let's look, how many yoga, Zumba, everything that goes on here, you know, all the physical stuff. We are hitting that, we are improving those lives. Socially, the men's club, the talk of having a mother's club,
The book
you know,
club,
the book club, the
Card games.
card games, we're improving socially, educationally, okay, how many people come take classes on
Workshops.
painting
Yeah.
and wood, and it's like, we are hitting all of that here and then some, and it leaves openings for other things to come here. So I am, you know, I would say that right there hits us, and it's simple,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
love it.
It's simple and
Might
it's,
even remember that.
I know, it's easy enough, sure enough.
Gene, if you can remember it, we'll do it.
so Gene, your homework is to come back next time without your paper and recite it.
Not gonna happen.
Wait, I'm gonna have to keep reciting it now. Remember to change, yeah.
I know
change.
we're not supposed to use in the definition, the word that's in what we're trying to define, but would to enrich?
Well, yes, but our name is Enrichment Center, and I think if I look at a lot of other organizations right now, it's cliche.
Okay.
Everybody uses enrich. You know how words get overused?
Yep.
Like moving forward, well, what are we gonna move back? I mean, come on, so
If someone if someone in my generation hears to enrich, I'll be very honest, they look and they go, oh, that's an old timers thing.
Oh, shoot.
Well, that's interesting.
I don't
To
know,
sit there and
I'm
say-
not an old timer, am I? Yeah.
To sit there and to say to improve your life, they'll go, okay, you got my interest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's a perspective.
Yeah,
No,
but
it
enrich is in our name.
Right,
So
right,
that's
what we
and
have.
so and that's
we have
another
that
thing.
generation.
Yeah, so we kind of,
If we sit there and we say the Enrichment Center is there to improve your life to someone, they will look and they
Use it all
go,
in the same,
yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm still looking forward to being rich.
and rich, not rich.
The rich part of the.
Both would be.
So,
Okay, so, do you all want to just still kind of, before our next meeting, kind of brainstorm?
Let's kind of consider that. I think that's a good idea.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like the one down below too, for the vision statement, to be a happy place.
and you know
Everyone
why?
else has left the call.
Oh,
If you
they
serve
got
old
bored.
fashioned,
Sorry.
serve old fashioned.
Or they had other things
yeah, I
to
was about to
do.
say, I think the mayor had to go back to work.
Mayor has to work.
Get rid of that.
But the reason I put that there is because we've always, Stephanie and Vicky and I have talked about being a happy place, like that's what we want to be. And we're hearing that. Like, this is a happy place and people are happy to come and happy to be here. And so I know it's kind of generic.
The
but-
only thing that I would like to add for that is to be that happy and safe place for people.
That's a good idea
Mhm.
though.
Because people should feel safe here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that encompasses
A lot of different
a lot of
things.
different safe is, yeah,
Mhm.
I like that.
Yeah, what's your safety physically?
Now, do I have to say for people, because there's like, everybody's people, so just to be,
Happen to say place.
to be,
Your safe and happy place or a happy and safe place.
yeah,
I don't
something
care
like
how we
that,
do
gotta
that.
and
say
not
for
really
people.
need the people, because we know that everyone's
To be
people.
a happy and safe place.
To
Period.
be a happy and safe place. To be the happy and, the choice happy, to be,
Well, so are you doing a mission and then a vision?
yeah, so
So
vision.
What
yes.
about your core values that you have?
Well, and that's
And
the
we
thing
can work on
too.
core values next month.
But I don't know, yeah, so that's the thing, do we
Wondering if
Do
you
we
need
need
it?
them anymore? Because we,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I think that that's what we need to look at. So if you want to look at them and say, does our mission, our ideas, now again, we're not solidifying anything. Our ideas for the mission, how's that look? Our idea for the vision, and then do the values already kind of, do we do that? Are we inclusive? Are we encouraging, volunteering, creating? That might not need to be stated. So yeah, if everyone would like to just take some time, and even if you think of things before the next meeting, that would be great, because then I can include them in our meeting.
I struggle, what's the mission statement and the vision statement?
So on
I'm
here.
trying to read this, I still
Yep.
can't quite, in my mind, get the difference.
So the difference is your vision is going to change as you see fit.
Well, we'll never change to be a happy and a safe place. We're not gonna change it someday to be an unhappy and unsafe place.
Well, no.
No, but if you've accomplished,
That's true.
if you've
That'll be
accomplished
forever.
that vision statement though, and everyone agrees that this is a completely happy and a completely safe place, there's no,
Then what's our next?
then what's the next
What's the
vision?
next? So
And you can change the vision
yeah.
at any time. Mission statement, you're looking at every, year to 5 years for
Oh, yeah,
sure.
it's been a bit since we've changed
Yeah,
it.
well, I I get that, that doesn't mean it has to change, but, you know,
Yeah.
you're reviewing it every year to 5 years. If you're looking at your vision statement, that could change in 3 months, because we're like, oh no, we've accomplished that beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Well, I think it's generally longer than 3 months. I mean, visions stay, you know, for as long as you see fit. But the point is, if everybody, you instill a vision in people's minds. So if everybody is out in the community or traveling somewhere and whatever, and they say, you know what, I love going to the Enrichment Center, it's a happy and safe place, or safe, happy place, or whatever, and that's what their vision is of it, then we can build on that. It's not that that goes away, it's what's next.
Yeah.
You know, what's our next vision? What else do we want to add to that? Do you have to have a vision? A lot of organizations do not. We didn't for a long time. We eliminated it, and instead we put in our core values. So the mission is the strength. That's the, you know, main thing that you want to be focusing on. And a vision is not necessarily needed, if that
But
helps. It enhances. It
allows us to do our mission.
Right.
Correct.
Right. Complements it.
I mean, if our mission is to improve lives through social, etc., being a safe and happy place fosters that.
Correct.
That's a perfect word, is fostering that mission. Absolutely. So there's a lot of thought in this. I mean, it took us, like Jean said, we had, you know, the first committee that I came into had already done some of this before I got there, and then as we started to change and grow and knew that we wanted to grow to this level, that changes, you know, so it's a lot of time. And the strategic plan that Art helped us with took months. I mean, it was months and months and months. But this is something that I think it's time for us. You know, we've been here long enough, it's time for us to revisit that. And I think we have a good start, so.
And I think just if we took out the generations and just, even if we decide other things, but to go to the two things we both like now, both your ideas.
Yes.
To fit in, like young mothers would fit under those. I mean,
Yeah. Oh,
you
yes.
know, that wouldn't have to be.
They're general and they're broad enough
Right.
that we encompass the entire Merrill community, and obviously that doesn't
Right.
limit to the city, obviously. I always say Merrill community, and I
Community,
think
right.
the town of Merrill, town of Pine River, town of Scott, you know, and
Well,
all
that's
those
why,
surroundings.
yeah.
And those are the communities that we also want to cater to. Those are the communities that the library caters to, the communities that Matt should be catered to.
We were running out of time, so I didn't mention that, but should these townships start contributing to our budget?
I would say.
I didn't want to get into that.
No.
I would say
But
no at this
Exactly.
point, because I mean, they're contributing by coming here, and, you know, those people that live out in those areas are contributing by coming here, paying the fees.
yeah, but
I mean,
but there are
to
people
sit
that
there
come
and
here who
ask-
don't pay a fee, who don't live in Merrill.
To sit there and ask those townships,
And maybe that's just part of being Merrill. I mean, you know, I don't view the person who lives in Pine River different than me, other than I pay city taxes to maintain this building.
Yeah.
They don't.
And they take advantage of
And they,
our.
yeah. But again, for the common good, I don't mind if the Pine River person comes here.
Well, thank
Right.
you. Because I'm from Pine River.
well, because
Yeah, I mean, you don't pay taxes, Tammy, for this building.
I do, but.
So-
You know, right, yeah.
Jay, to kind of,
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of civilly counter your point, because I lived down in the town of Pine River for years. And I have a lot of family that still lives out in the town of Pine River. I can guarantee if you go to those people and say, hey, we want you to pay taxes, you know, help pay taxes on this building that you never use, because they're farmers, they don't have the time to even make it to town to go to Walmart, for crying out loud, and they're going, why would we pay that? And they would, you know.
No, this discussion's for another
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
All I'm saying, you
I'm
know,
just-
if we ever have a budget issue where the city says we're gonna close this place
Right.
because there's not enough, or we're gonna make it 2 days a week,
Yeah.
then maybe we have to explore
Other
those
options.
other options. Those other options may be other governmental entities helping, just like the county and the city, and I think the city of Tomahawk too, funds TB Scott Library.
Right.
City of Tomahawk actually helps with their
Has their
library.
own.
They have their
Bradley
own.
does.
Tom Bradley, yeah, right, I knew there was somebody up north that did it.
No, I hear you. I hear
But again, that's for a different day, and that's why I didn't wanna bring it up.
No, you're
Well,
right, no.
it was an issue we dealt with the library we had some townships who resisted the library costs. We had the pool issue, same question about the pool.
Yeah.
And they used to charge, I brought this up another time, at Park and Rec, they would charge you more.
Yeah, we
if
got
you
charged more.
County
Mhm.
rather than city.
For their
But
activity.
they gave that up because people would lie about their address.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and we're not gonna charge a user fee if you drive on Main Street and you live in Pine River. I mean, yeah, so,
Yeah, no.
it goes for, that goes
Like a
forever.
toll down in
I
Chicago.
just,
Yeah, you're told, Tammy, you're told to come to work, cause you have to,
Right.
you know, something.
I just
Go
think
through a toll booth.
the goal obviously is
We're
to
putting the penny meters back in.
I just think the goal is obviously to make this as good of a spot as we can for everyone at the
Yep.
times that we can.
And I think we gotta remember, it's within the time frame of 8 AM to 4:30
Yeah.
PM, basically 4 days a week.
Yep.
So how do we do all of that within that limited
That
period of
confined.
but
time?
that's why, Jay, I bring up, okay, if we want to expand a little program offering, and we can't use money because it's being redirected back to the city budget,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a problem. But I just wanted to mention, this is a marketing jewel all over the area, so, you know,
Right.
I don't know if you guys get enough credit for it, because,
Well, thank you.
I mean, you have this every place I go, and I know
So that's part
hard,
of that
that's
administration.
hard to
piece.
do. when you do
And it's colorful.
Yeah.
It's not a black and white
Right.
thing that
Yeah.
blends in with everything else.
So we're
Every other
happy
bullet
that
is-
LPI
It's sort of color
still
coordinated,
supporting
you
us.
know, for
Yes.
like pink,
Season.
pink for
It's well done.
Valentine's.
It's well done. And I think, you know,
March will be green.
businesses should really consider advertising it.
Yes, they should. If you
Yeah.
can spread the word, that's what I was gonna say. Right now, we're short on our advertising, and we may end up having to pay for that newsletter if we don't get more advertising. So, yeah, if you have any, if you can, as committee members, say, hey, support us in this way.
How much you charge for,
I'm not sure, the ads are, we have
She
to
gave
call
us
them.
a
Gave us
thing,
that
one other
information at one of
committee
these
meeting.
meetings.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
But, you know,
wasn't
and
cheap,
I
but-
think a business could do better with advertising, and you could suggest this to them if they had a coupon, you know, bring this coupon,
Yeah.
and then they would know they were,
For a little
people were
something, yeah.
reading it.
Yeah, then you can measure your marketing
Yes,
dollars, which is
yes.
very difficult to do sometimes. And we do have our check-in system that is a whole separate thing for advertising. So now County Market is on that screen if
Oh,
you've
yeah.
seen, so. Because
Some
we need
different
advertisers to support how much that thing costs, which is,
I just wanted to know, because if we could bill Jay for,
oh, yeah.
For what? Just for the heck of it?
Well,
we're
sure,
gonna market you.
there you go, there you
Well,
go.
in the interest of time, just
Okay.
in case folks have to leave, so,
Yes.
I guess maybe just on that note, for the future, agenda,
Yes?
you know, you've sent that out to other communities outside.
Oh,
And so maybe we could talk about that again, or talk about how that reach may have
Yes.
affected.
yes.
Attendance.
I'll just quick before we wrap up, I'm putting an ad for us in, is it the community, it's an insert that the Photo News does, but it goes into every single Photo News.
Oh,
Community profile?
program, yeah.
We're gonna be in there for the first time, it goes to everybody who gets Photo News.
Oh,
Huge, because remember we were trying to do this and
Right.
paying for it?
right.
I'm paying for one ad, and we are featured in that community profile for the first time.
Okay.
So I'm really excited about that.
How much was that?
300, something like that.
Which is
So
less than some.
Less than this, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just,
Mhm.
you know,
Yep, I have advertising dollars, I got it.
yeah, no, I know you do. I helped approve that for you.
I got it. Yep. So I'm really hopeful, because when she said it goes into every single Photo News, I'm like, oh my God. Yes.
That's a big reach.
I was just curious how much
Yes.
it costs for that. 'cause
Well,
it's like
I didn't
that-
take a full page, of course,
Right.
but I took a section.
Well, yeah, but that's still a lot of print, so.
It's a lot of print, and so hopefully we'll be able to reach people that still don't know who we are,
Yeah.
because depending on where they live, so, yeah, so that's exciting. But yes, so, Yeah, we can explore that too.
Or any other things you want to add, just pass on to Tammy through email.
Yes,
or
please, for our
stuff,
next
and-
meeting, if there's something that comes up, but we'll maybe solidify the mission and vision next
Yep.
time we meet.
I would say, you know, we're obviously highly considering the ideas, but I would like to finalize those.
And then Teresa wasn't able to be here, and so I'd like for her to take a look at them, and then sometimes you gotta sit on things a little, and then an idea might come to you. So feel free in the meantime to either, you know, if you're here to let me know, or if you want to email if something comes to you, and then we can bring them to the next session.
And
I really like,
the health fair we talked about, is that something you wanna wait till next fall to start examining?
Well, our fall is busy. We have our
Well, I don't think
festival,
it happened
No,
in the
to
fall,
start
but
looking at-
looking at planning.
like next year.
Yeah.
Yes, if
No,
we
you're
could,
thinking to start just getting some ideas out kind of thing?
Yeah,
for the health fair.
right.
Okay.
To
Or should
have
we-
next
Or should
year.
we start now?
Oh, it's
For
always
next
good
year.
to start now planning for
Yeah.
next year, because we didn't have our spring craft show, but we have another idea already for spring.
Yeah.
So if we want, I thought we were gonna maybe with the health fair, try to do it like during our business hours instead of in an evening or weekend, to, depending on what kind of, who we're targeting for that health fair.
Yeah, I
right?
think
'Cause
we talked
we
about
talked
like
about
a
that.
theme and maybe some small, because the big one was really hard to coordinate with some of the discussion we had, I think, last time.
So would we like that on March's our next meeting? Or
We could talk, because I know I wrote some things
Yeah,
down, because
yeah.
I think Nathan had a question about who
Okay.
all would you include in the health fair, like, who does that encompass? So
Right.
I just tried to write some things down, so maybe we
Well,
could
if it's
just,
something that's just, you know, within business hours, what you're talking about sounds to me like what they call a Boomers Expo or something, you know, they have it at the,
like a 50 and up, or
yeah, they had the
Oh, they
Patriot
have
Center.
that down
Yeah,
at Cedar
they
Creek.
had Boomers Expo.
yeah.
It was like.
but
you know,
again,
if you're born
it's
in
going, who are we targeting?
Boomers, like the
Baby-
baby
well, that's
boomers.
it.
Who are we targeting?
Well,
That was
well,
So maybe it's a
Here.
good discussion
Yes,
point.
yes.
who are we targeting?
Yeah, who are we targeting?
Who are we targeting for that? And then the rest will fall into place. Mhm.
You had a question though, Jay. You were-
Well, I just think that, Tammy, I guess I like this idea of a mom's group for younger ladies, but I think you should probably talk to the library. They have a 2x2 program,
Oh,
but
yeah.
that's where they bring the moms and the kids there. But that may be a group of moms, there may be a target group
Yes.
just for the
I'll
moms.
talk to Lori. And what we generally do is we'll put out something in the newsletter or maybe even on Facebook that says, contact us if you'd be interested in a mom's group, you know? And
you
so
know-
we get the interest and then we can start putting it on the calendar to schedule. Otherwise, you know, it's kind of one person shows up.
Yeah, well, and the schedules of when
And
they
the
don't have their
schedules of
children.
everybody,
Yeah,
and
it's-
so we do teasers like, hey, we're thinking about starting, you know, a mom's group during the day. If anyone's interested, call to get on the interest list. And that's been working well for us.
You know where they put it together is on Facebook.
Mhm, yeah,
There's a group of moms on Facebook
yeah,
that already, it's quite large.
okay.
And they
So
do
I'll
all
have,
their communicating
Oh.
about mom stuff.
so I'll have
on
Vicky
Facebook.
hack into that. I'll have Vicky hack into the mom's group and
Yeah.
see if they'd be
I think for
interested
a
in the
place to
space.
meet, yeah,
Mhm.
that'd be awesome.
That's a good idea. And then I'll touch base with Lori too for the moms who are already there with their kids, and then if they ever get a
They
break.
might
Yeah,
be
they-
an expo size space. I'm
All
just
the
kidding.
moms.
All the moms that are out there, there's probably a lot.
Yeah, just moms.
If you
Kids,
want.
Oh, yeah.
kids can stay at the library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Laura's good
I
with
love
that.
kids, but yeah, she'll get a kick out of that when I see her. Thanks a lot, Tammy.
Okay, on that note, we have a motion to
I move
adjourn.
we adjourn.
I second.
Second by Jean, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right, thanks, everybody. Great conversations once again.